kind of thoughts on the performance on every side of the ball?
You know, it was a lot of good things and things to work on still, of course, but was really happy with the way Thomas came out and set the tone and threw the ball well. For a freshman to come out and give us a good solid start like that and get through 5 was impressive, I thought. And then on the flip side of the ball, just, you know, I said it before, but that kid's a pretty good pitcher. He pitcher's pretty dang good. And after the first inning, I'm like, man, we're in for a dogfight. You know, that kid's gonna be tough. It's gonna be a low-scoring game, and we came out in the second inning and put some really good swings on a really good arm. So was extremely pleased with the offensive output, the way that they attacked the zone and were ready to hit. So that was exciting. To be able to put up some fireworks off an arm like that is exciting for the offense.
What does that signify, being able to hit off an arm like that, especially towards the bottom middle of the order? Carstetter, Jackson, Compton all had huge days.
Yeah, that's you know, when Campy has one hit and Contradas has one hit out of the 17. I mean, that's the other guys are producing that gets me excited. So I was happy about that. And like I said, that kid's got a real good arm and has some good stuff. That's the guy that knocked out U of A last year in the regionals and shut them down, you know, pretty well, and just is a real capable arm. So for us to come out and really you know, take it to him offensively was encouraging.
Thomas was really able to work with header hitters, had good command on his fastball, but even his slider, throwing that for strikes. Is that something that you saw as a consistent thing in the preseason and sort of was an expectation coming into tonight, or was that something that really just came together well?
No, there's a reason that we have him on Friday, and he's able to do that, and for a freshman to keep his composure the way he does, and you know, change speeds when he needs to, and not get so into a pattern, I guess, is good. He's able to change up guys and throw different pitches and different counts and keep them off balance. So you know, again, that's why he's on Friday as a freshman. So he does a good job with that.
Burns and
Was there ever any question on how Thomas would bounce back after a couple of long innings on the bench?
You know, no, I don't think so. You know, he's a tough kid. He's mentally stays in there and stays focused pretty good. So again, all those are factors as to why I felt confident going with him on Friday as a freshman. He just does an outstanding job of controlling the things he can control, and you know, even with the longer innings, he was down there moving around and staying loose. So he's bred to be a starter. He's done that his whole life, and so I expected him to do what he did.
For freshmen
being on a pitch count and some of the other guys being on a pitch count, is that something you'd like to see maybe increase down the line? You'd like to see them start going longer as games go on? Yeah,
absolutely. This is you know, our kids' health is paramount first and foremost. We take pride in trying to keep our arms healthy and build them up the right way. So coming into this game, we had a max pitch count on Thomas at 75. You know, but we didn't want him up and down more than 5 times. So we figured if we could get him through 5, we'd be really happy. So regardless, even if his pitch count was a little bit lower than it was, we would have probably, you know, been 5 and done this first start. So we'll take that into consideration with most all of our arms. Just on the health of them is paramount. So we're going to need those guys to be healthy as the year goes on. So this is the way Sammy and I feel very comfortable ramping them up with this. You know, next outing we'll ramp it up to, maybe it'll be, you know, 6 innings if we can get through 6, and maybe bump it up to 85, 90 pitches next outing.
Does that kind of tie into, you were sitting in here a lot last year talking about how past the first like 2 or 3 weeks of the season, you don't see them as freshmen anymore, you see them as just players. Is that kind of tying into what you see with this pitching staff?
It's going to have to be. You know, we have no secret, we got a lot of freshman arms, and but hey, we're at the end of the freshman year, and after we get through a couple weeks of this and we get some jitters out, and you know, I was positive about tonight, we were able to get some freshmen in there and get their feet wet on the mound, and you know, hopefully get them over the shock so they'll be a little more comfortable next time out. You know, that we're going to need those guys, and those are good arms. Halvey and Josh Butler are good arms that we're going to need down the stretch, and we got to get them experience. And I don't know if we can get them a softer landing than we did tonight, but we knew they were going to be amped up, and they'll get better as we move on.
Speaking of those freshman arms, 4 freshmen is what you had pitched for you tonight. Burns and Jacobs were really nails, and you just touched on Halverson and Butler, got touched up a little bit. How do you keep their confidence up now?
They'll be fine. You know, the way that Halvey bounced back after, you know, that was my fault on the pitch call there. You know, Sammy and I were kind of going back and forth on what pitch to throw, and he asked me, and I said breaking ball, and boy, was I wrong. So I'll take the blame for that one. But the way Halvey bounced back, you know, got the next 2 hitters out, you know, great job. So same thing with Josh. You know, he gave up a couple hits and runs, but he bounced back and continued to pound the zone. You know, hits the first guy on the first pitch. It's like, oh boy, you know, here we go. But he settled in and at least pounded the strike zone. So you know, I'll take 2 walks out of 9 innings any day. And that's something we've been working on and stressing with our pitching staff. So, but you know, all in all, a positive night and things to work on, but a positive night.
We know the offense was there, but the strikeout throw them out really set the trend, and I know that's something that you really have been working on.
Yeah, that's you know, we trust our catchers, but also, you know, that's part of what we try to accomplish as a pitching staff is giving our catchers an opportunity to throw guys out. You know, by being somewhat decently quick to the plate and we have them you know, on a time that we like to keep them below, you know, when they get to the plate, and give our catchers a chance to throw guys out. So that was a big momentum play in the game.
Now, the first pitch swinging tonight, is that a philosophy you've been able to instill in the team prior to the season, and how do you feel they executed in that area?
You know, it's more defined than first pitch swinging. You're looking for a pitch that you can do some damage with early in the count, and if that happens to be the first pitch, then go. The last thing we want is an offense is to be hitting behind the count all the time. You know, we're taught as pitchers are usually taught to get ahead, right? So, you know, if we're up there letting them get ahead, they're dictating the at bat, and we as an offense don't like that. I don't like that as an offensive-minded player. You know, I want guys to be in the box ready to go. If they get a pitch up in the zone and it's over the middle of the plate, then go. You know, swing, be ready to hit. Like that's the fun part of the game. So continuing to have the aggressive mindset, and you know, just so long as they're not overly aggressive and they're swinging out of the zone, that's when we can get in trouble. But look for a pitch over the plate and go.
Continuing to pour on runs throughout the game and continue to add to the total, has this kind of shown like the relentlessness that this group needs to hold themselves to the standard that they want to play at to get to a place like Omaha?
Well, that's the standards of this place, is to be able to come out, and we're known historically of being a pretty dang good offensive program. And you know why is because we are, you know, hopefully fastball efficient and ready to attack the fastball if it's over the plate, and if there's a breaking ball that's up, we let it fly on that too. So you know, we're not trying to reinvent the wheel on hitting, but we're just trying to be really good at the basics and the fundamentals of it. So but yeah, a good start for our guys tonight, and hopefully we can build on it.
Coach, there were a lot of players prior to tonight who talked about how deep this offense could possibly be, 15, 16 guys deep. When you see how the outfield and how some new guys produced tonight, do you truly believe that the sky's the limit really for this offense, considering, like you said, the historical precedent of this program?
I do, yeah. I'm confident in our offense. You know, again, not to beat a dead horse, but when you put together a night like that off a good quality pitcher like that, it makes me happy. And let's not forget Nick McLean's not in that lineup right now. So we get that kid back, it really makes it 1 through 9 that there's no easy outs in that thing. So, and then like you know, we talked about, we have several guys on the bench that are capable that you know we didn't see tonight. Eamon Lance, you know, Josiah Cromwick, Mario DeMera, those are all senior veteran bats that are capable of putting together good ABs, and they didn't get in there tonight. So you know, my biggest challenge is going to be feeding all those mouths and getting them in the game and keeping them sharp. So it's good problems to have, but on the same token, those guys are very capable of putting together good at-bats too.
And considering this is Thomas's first start, and considering this is his freshman season, how high is the expectation for Connor and for Tyler tomorrow and Sunday, considering they are technically veterans, or do you already hold them to the same standard you would say as Thomas, even though he's
I mean, it's just the standard we hold the program to, no matter who's out there. It is just trying to go out and compete, work ahead, throw strikes, and attack the zone. That's what we're trying to do, and you can't control the results. You know, Thomas ultimately had good results tonight, but you can't always control those. So, you know, I expect Connor to go out and attack the zone tomorrow, work with good tempo and throw a lot of strikes, and, you know, hopefully we get the results that Thomas had tonight, but we'll see. You know, he's gonna hopefully go out and attack the zone and see what happens.
What are your
I mentioned a couple weeks ago that you would ideally not want starters to see too many batters third time through the order. When you start to ramp them up, the pitch count higher, how much will that be a consideration against some of these teams?
I think it's more just on how effective they are, and how the stuff is continuing to play. Regardless if the velo is there or not, it's just a matter, you can tell from the side on this guy's starting to lose his finish on his pitches, those type of things. But as long as that's still there and they're continuing to be effective, we'll keep rolling them out there.
How much are you aware of Thomas's? He talks about mental imagery to sort of prepare himself. Said he had seen every at bat sort of, or imagined it with each hitter on that Santa Clara team. What about his preparation sort of sticking up to the last, since he joined the program?
There's a reason he's on Friday night. So he does a lot of things good, and he prepares himself as good as anybody, and he's mentally tough as anybody we have. So again, that's why I like him on Friday night, because he believes he's going to be good, and so do we.
You talked about the importance of Kean Boo's offensive success and being able to remain in the lineup, and having him at the ninth spot, and then also having Harris Williams, another outfielder, in the leadoff spot. How do you feel both of those guys are helped to round off the lineup and make it click?
I think as long as Kean sticks with his approach and does what he's capable of doing, that's another elite base runner we get in the lineup. He's a good bunter, can move runners, that type of thing. So, I anticipate him I expect him to continue to put together good at-bats and be productive. Harris Williams been outstanding since the minute he stepped on campus for us. Just continues to get hits, and without a doubt, he's our leadoff hitter and a guy that sets the table and is able to run and do some things with speed and handle the bat. So, those two guys right now at 9 and 1 in the lineup that roll over for each other, that's what we hope to have down there and up at the top.
What are your thoughts on Karstetter's performance at second base tonight and his role at second base moving forward?
I thought offensively, obviously had a great night, 3 hits, and wasn't overmatched, and did an outstanding job defensively. I think he had a handful of plays there that he made. He's solid, very solid. But again, those are the expectations for him. So he earned the starting job because he was very solid with his offensively and defensively, and did what we expect him to do.
You told us Carlo was rapping. Did you feel like everyone was kind of nice and loose tonight?
If you listen to his raps, you'd be loose too. He's Carlone is quickly becoming one of the favorites in that clubhouse just because of his personality is infectious, and guys love being around him. And he was amped up today to get in the game, but we ultimately didn't need him tonight. But he'll be hot tomorrow.
Was it nice to be able to close that down at the end, not let it get any closer, and not have to worry about using him?
I never really feel warm and fuzzies and overly comfortable, I guess. This game has taught me, as soon as you feel comfortable, all of a sudden something happens and then you get caught in a panic. So, but having that reassurance that we didn't have him, or didn't have to use him or Gibby. Gibby started kind of playing a little bit of catch there. But having those two guys available tomorrow and Fitzy and Matt Teeding, having all those guys available tomorrow is good.
Thanks, Coach.